John Stuart Mill said, if all mankind minus one were of one opinion, and only 1% were of the contrary opinion, mankind would be no more justified in silencing that one person than he, if he had the power, would be justified in silencing mankind. He also said, the peculiar evil of silencing the expression of an opinion is that it is robbing the human race. If the opinion is right, they are deprived of the opportunity of exchanging error for truth. If wrong, they lose what is almost as great a benefit, the clearer perception and livelier impression of truth produced by its collision with error. When people disagree with each other, start talking to each other, there are some possibilities. One side convinces the other side, one side admits that his view is wrong, one side does not continue the conversation and says, let's agree to disagree, or even both sides becoming more convinced of the truth of what they believe. But sometimes one side realizes that his idea is wrong, but he is so entrenched in his view that he cannot bring himself to the point of acknowledging that his view is wrong. He tries to play with emotions, arouse sympathy from others, shout louder than the other person, engage in ad hominem attacks, throw a red herring, basically making use of everything at his disposal to discredit the other side. Now, that conversation is definitely hard to have, and even for others present, hard to listen to. It is very frustrating, it is exhausting, but it remains a conversation nonetheless. Then came a big group of people who did not even want to talk about certain topics. Whenever someone was about to say something they did not like, they played the victim. They threw some words ending in phobes. They said they had been emotionally hurt and violated. They felt threatened. They did not feel safe. Now, for quite a while, they managed to do that, whether it was in schools, universities, workplaces, social media, and television. They felt they had built a strong hedge around themselves, and there was no chance of defeat, no possibility of being proven wrong. And they did not stop there. They were not content with just having the exclusive platform to speak from. They turned those ideas into actions. They knew that those who were in power would support them no matter how ridiculous their ideas were. And it seemed they had won battle after battle, decisive ones. But then things started to change. People had had enough. They wanted to change that, but future looked bleak. They were wondering whether it was possible to turn the tide. They were wondering whether it was possible to change something which had been in place for such a long time. Change did not seem possible from top to bottom. There were huge hurdles. Then a young man came along who did not have high academic education. He did not have power. He did not have a lot of money. But he had a vision that was shaped by his Christian worldview. He started a grassroots movement. He started traveling all over the country, speaking at many colleges and universities. His campaign started attracting the attention of so many people, especially the young generation. His presence on a campus drew thousands of students. He did not deliver sophisticated lectures. He invited the students to engage with him, to ask him questions, and to answer his questions. And there was no restriction. Anyone with any worldview could come and ask him questions. He did not stifle differing views, he encouraged them. He saw student after student verbally abusing him with mockery, sarcasm, and insults, treating him with disdain just because he had not gone to college. And yet he remained calm, gentle, and respectful. You could see what a genuine person he was. He really cared for others. When some students said horrible things and were booed by other students, he asked the crowd to let those students speak and ask their questions. He did not believe in the freedom of speech for himself only. He granted the same freedom to those who were maligning him. His talks and Q&A sessions received a lot of attention as they were shared on social media. He and his team brought dialogue and critical thinking back to the college campuses. The movement he started grew really fast. Christians and conservative-leaning people listened and watched his engagement with students and found out one can fight for the truth and be loving at the same time. He fought for the lives of the unborn. He defended conservative values, and he defended marriage and the nuclear family. By engaging people from the other side, he exposed their intellectual bankruptcy, their moral depravity, and the absurdity of their arguments, all in the context of a calm and gentle conversation on his side. The movement he started spread all over America. There was a rise of the appreciation for conservative values. People were animated. Millions of students joined his movement, and they ended up being one of the main reasons Donald Trump was re-elected as president. I still remember how he got teary-eyed when he found out that Donald Trump had won the election. He had fought so hard for that, and he was able to witness the results of the efforts of him and his team. Charlie Kirk became a household name. He became an epitome of what it means to be a Christian, a faithful husband, a loving father, and a true American. Sometimes in a discussion, one person realizes that his idea is wrong, but he is so entrenched in his view that he cannot bring himself to the point of acknowledging that his view is wrong. He tries to play with emotions, arouse sympathy from others, shout louder than the other person, engage in ad hominem attacks, throw a red herring, basically making use of everything at his disposal to discredit the other side. The conversation will be definitely hard, and even for others present, hard to listen to. It is very frustrating, very exhausting, but it remains a conversation nonetheless. But sadly, that was not the case this time. People whose arguments were decimated, whose ideas were shown to be absurd, could not handle that embarrassment. They had tried everything. Their attempt to play with emotions, to shout louder than the other side, to engage in ad hominem attacks, and to use every other means of discrediting someone who was just using common sense, were all proven to be futile. They were no match for him. His honesty, his intelligence, and his humility. So they did the unthinkable. They thought the only way to defeat him and what he stood for was to silence him, not by shouting, not by protest, but by a bullet. Today we stand at a crucial point in time. Either this brutal, horrific murder will cause us to cower in fear, or it will stir us to take the baton from him and continue what he has started. This is the first time in my life that I have tried for the death of someone I have never met. Do not respond to those who are celebrating. The more they do that, the more we see and realize what an amazing job Charlie has done. Let us pray for Charlie's wife, kids, and the rest of his family. Let us pray for people on his team. Charlie, thank you for all that you have done, for all the hard work, for being so patient, so gentle, and for persevering till the very end. You have fought the good fight. You have finished the race. You have kept the faith. Charlie, you can rest now. Rest in peace. Farewell, my brother.